Hey friends, it's Chris, the Earthborn Alchemist, and it's time for another installment of your edible backyard. Today, I'm covering a plant that is probably growing in your backyard or front yard right now. It's probably growing in the cracks in your driveway. It's growing everywhere. And the fact of the matter is, there is really very little way you can get this wrong because this particular plant happens to look like two or three completely different plants and all of them are edible. This is the best part. The thing about them is they look like they're not. They look armored and they kind of go against the rule. They have like a milky latex sap in them, and those things would generally tend to move you away from a plant as being edible. However, this one is really cool. So I'm going to show you what it is. You can see this guy here is growing pretty well everywhere in my lawns, popping up all over the place. I'm actually sitting on some of it right now. Now this is known as sow thistle. It looks an awful lot like dandelion, and it also looks like prickly or wild lettuce. Now, the thing that tells this apart from the other two plants is a couple of things. First and foremost, sow thistle up one stem will have a multiple cluster of flowers. These will all come out. They're going to be beautiful yellow flowers, much like dandelion, but dandelion will only have one flower per stem. This has got multiple flowers growing out of the stem, and the flowers have this lance type shape to them, very much a sow thistle. The other thing that tells this apart from wild lettuce or prickly lettuce is that wild lettuce down the spine of the leaves will have a series of spikes along the middle spine of the leaf. This guy does not. You can actually, you see there, it's letting out a little bit of its sap. That white spot, that is a latex sap. That is edible, believe it or not. Now this plant is both medicinal and edible. The leaves and the stem and the roots are all usable. The flowers are usable. As with everything that I do, this is purely informational only, not instructional. So please don't use this as a guide to go out and identify the plant, because that's not what this is about. This is intended for you to do your own research and find ways of positively identifying the plants yourself. This is just a guide based on information only. So the leaves you can eat raw or cooked. You can use them as a salad. The stems you can use the same way you would use like rhubarb as an example, although it's probably going to lack that kind of sweetness that rhubarb has. And the best part about this is if you pull it out and the roots, you can get the roots, you can dry them and ground them up, and there's a beautiful coffee makeshift. So really cool plant. Now this plant medicinally has been used for multiple things, and typically you can make a tea out of the leaves, and it's actually a really good antipyretic, so it will help reduce fever. Before you start doing that, you kind of want to make sure that you're not taking away a fever when the fever is called for, and you know you're not ending up actually giving the infection a better chance, because the reality is when we're feverish, we're changing the internal landscape of our body to give our body a fighting chance against something that can't handle that temperature increase. So you don't really want to go reducing your fever. Just letting you know from an informational point of view that this plant will do that. It is antipyretic. So beautiful plant to have, to know, to understand that this is an edible plant. You can see I have my offsider with us today, Luna. And yeah, enjoy. Go out, have fun, see what you can identify.